Previously on the Great Ace Attorney. Is there something I don't know? I really do not appreciate things that I do not know. Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Osogi. At least that is what I've been led to understand.
The thing is...
Oh, this really isn't going well at all. I just can't seem to find the right words to say to this man. He's so imposing and pretty.
Mr. Naruhodo, I know he's pretty and imposing, but get a grip on yourself.
I could ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I going to say? If there is someone else here from Japan who could be described as a lawyer, and me. Hello, YouTube. I'm Unca Crunk. Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney and the trial of Magnus McGilded is about to begin. Well then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please. Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is a case of overwhelming simplicity. We must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening, 3 days past. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason.
Sorry, thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. The bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here is the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard. Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that and the photograph as evidence.
Okay. The cause of death is internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. Alright, his face is partially obscured from view by an old crooked hat.
And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel? Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested.
What? Mr. McGilded's gloves had blood on them? Well, that's a bad start.
Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well.
Okay. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before we've even started.
Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only 2 passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time.
Only 2?
Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Rather damning circumstances, to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
Of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded! To be sure, I rode in the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken with fierce tiredness, and I always succumb to it.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
There's the motion of the carriage, my lord. Lilting, so it is. And when I opened my eyes again, 'twas a desperate sight before me. The body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in my life. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? Wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was it? Reached out to give the man a hand. So the blood got onto the gloves then, after the man had been killed.
Unfortunately, that statement of the driver's is only the beginning.
What? It's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Okay.
Order, order, order! When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage. And there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused. Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear. I think we will hear testimony from these witnesses first of all. Your wish is my command. Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
Okay.
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First. I make hats for gents.
Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in an omnibus and witness to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Quite right.
Yes, sir, that's right, sir.
Very well then. Let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Oh boy. 3 witnesses? That's not good. It was the last bus of the evening, so I had few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. And out of the blue, the accused just reached over and bludgeoned a knife right in his guts.
That's right. He stabbed him. I screamed, I did. I couldn't help it. And as soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus. And then I saw it too.
Unambiguous testimony, I must say. Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes.
I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, How could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage.
Oh, quaint. I'd read that civilization in the Eastern Island nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really so ignorant about our omnibuses? Huh? Tell me, my Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Well, no. We, only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us all to see for ourselves. The actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? Do you mean the actual scene? How?
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much?
Yes.
The omnibus in which this bloody crime took place is here today in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff! Bring forth the stricken omnibus!
Okay. So there are seats on top as well. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Great Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses and can carry up to 8 passengers. 4 passengers seated inside the enclosed cabin, and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best view of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of an omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there is a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Ah, skylight. Oh.
The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gentlemen were occupying the rooftop seats in the omnibus when the murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
That makes perfect sense.
Well, Counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced a crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish. Very well. I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
Okay. I can't believe it. The entire crime scene entered as evidence? Yes, Great Britain is simply extraordinary. I could help myself a lot by giving that omnibus a thorough examination, seeing as it's here.
Let us continue with proceedings then. Your cross-examination, counsel.
All right, but first. Oh, damn it, wrong button.
Hmm.
No, Okay.
You can certainly see inside the carriage through this opening, that's for sure.
Yes, and there's a lamp in the enclosed cabin. So I'm sure the witnesses would have been able to see quite clearly.
Oh, that's not good for us.
So this is the roof deck of the omnibus. Oh, you must have a wonderful view of London streets from up here.
So people sit all the way up here on bitter winter nights with the cold air rushing past them? And they have to pay money to do so?
I can't imagine how cold it must feel.
That just made me think of something horrible. Can you imagine being dragged around the city in the freezing cold as a punishment?
Perhaps that is the real price you paid to stay out late.
And that's where the driver sits.
Oh my God, Phoenix Ride Omnibus. Oh, come on, let me click that. Well, let's open the door and go inside, shall we?
The scene of a murder.
It's horrible.
That's blood that soaked into the seat. The victims, obviously.
Yes, and that seat would be clearly visible from the roof deck.
Would you really stab somebody in full view of the other passengers like that? I wonder.
Well, it was after dark, and there was a lamp on in here, so perhaps the culprit couldn't see anything outside through the skylight.
And whichever way you look at it, it doesn't seem like it was a planned attack. This seat looks reasonably soft, but it's actually rather hard when you sit on it. And only just wide enough for two gentlemen to sit side by side, really.
Of course, an English gentlewoman would be dressed in such finery. It would be quite impossible for her to climb up to the roof deck, so she would have to be seated in here.
A woman in a kimono would have the same problem. Women's clothes are very impractical, aren't they? The seat has a handle, it seems.
Oh, okay.
This looks like all sorts of equipment that might be needed to keep the omnibus running.
Feeding tubs, tools to repair wheels, blankets, horseshoeing tools. So it's a storage compartment for the coachman to keep his things, it seems.
There doesn't seem to be any space for passengers to stow their luggage, that's for sure.
Well, I don't imagine it would be very convenient for that purpose anyway.
Yeah. Being under the seat and all.
Okay, no such handle on that side.
It's quite a large skylight, isn't it?
Yes, quite large enough to afford a good view into the cabin from the roof deck.
And there doesn't appear to be a handle or catch of any description. So I suppose it can't be opened from inside the cabin, at least. Ah, that's a poster for the Great Exhibition that's due to start 6 months from now. A lot of focus being drawn to the Crystal Tower, the centerpiece of the whole exposition.
Ooh, the Crystal Tower. It's under construction already, I believe. People all over London must be fizzing with excitement at the prospect of such a grand event.
Oh. Ah, that's a poster for the Great Exhibition. Wait a minute. We just did that. Okay. Oh, hang on. Well, I'm sure it's fine. Hey, I guess we looked at everything. I don't expect this Deeponese stray to understand the intricacies of a British court's cross-examination rights. All right, my first cross-examination in a British court. Focus, Ryunosuke, focus! Cross-examination, start! It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well. Oh, back. Okay. Press.
Hold it!
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? Oh, yes, sir. That's right, sir. Yes, the air was so cold it was freezing, in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? Yes, that's right, sir. Not all traveling in the same parts of the bus, so of course not. No. And there were no other passengers when the incident took place? No one alighted, for example? You're quite right with that, sir. No other passengers like that. No, none. So nobody fled the scene of the crime, then? I have to say, the boss insisted on a running us every evening. The last bus of the day. Okay. I do wonder sometimes if the salt together were worthwhile. Yeah, so sorry to say. What do you mean by that? Well, why was it being so cold and everything, and only making 20 pence on the run, do you see? Yes, I spent that much at the pub on the way home just trying to warm up again. The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus.
Hold it!
And you saw them through the skylight and the roof of the carriage? That's right. And you sit on top of the deck, the window's right there at your feet. There's a lamp on inside, so I had a pretty good view. The 2 of them were wearing hats, and I couldn't exactly make out their faces. There's not a shred of doubt in my mind that it was Mr. McGilded. How can you be so sure? Well, how can I put it politely? McGilded is a gentleman of rather small stature. I couldn't have mistaken him for anyone else. Let's not forget that when the vehicle came to a halt, the only people inside the enclosed cabin were the deceased Mr. Mason and Mr. McGilded. There is no room for doubt here. Yeah, I really wish there was. And out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts. Oh, damn it. Did it again.
Hold it!
You actually saw the exact moment it happened. Didn't I already testify to that? Or are fair dinkum, hard-working city bankers not considered trustworthy these days? Oh, no, I didn't mean that. This is no good. I've really got his back up. Perhaps you could just tell us what you saw in a little more detail, if that's... My lord. Juror number 3, what's the meaning of this? My mind is made up, my lord. Completely and utterly made up. Made up about what? I don't like the stinking rich. Never have. They're always up to something or other that they shouldn't be. Every one of them. And that little leprechaun of a man's no exception. Well, he can't fool me. The hell is that?
There's no point in wasting time listening to any more of this. That's my opinion on the matter anyway.
That is precisely what I was about to say. As the foreman of the jury, it's my duty to set a good example for my fellow jurors.
Hey? What is happening here? Let me see. Yes, it seems that's how the members of the jury give their verdicts. With fire? Apparently, yes. White for innocent and black for guilty. As the 6 members of the jury make up their minds about the case, one by one they each cast a ball of fire into the great scales of justice, as we saw a moment ago. So if those enormous scales fall completely to the black side, does that mean... Let's do our very best to make sure that doesn't happen. I'm even more worried than I was before.
Very well. The court acknowledges the change in the jury's stance. Counsel for the defense, please continue with your cross-examination.
This is a nightmare. That's right, he stabbed him. Screamed I did, couldn't have it.
Hold it!
He stabbed him, you say, and you were sitting on the roof deck, were you? Yes, that's right, sir. I was up on the roof seats. I remember seeing a little gent sitting right next to the fellow that was stabbed. I'd been thinking about a new hat design, you see. So I was just gazing absent-mindedly around. But then I happened to look down through the skylight. It was sticking right out from his belly. A huge grey knife.
A grim sight indeed.
That didn't help me at all. The jury looks like they're even more convinced that my client did that than they were before. That appears to have made everyone even more dubious that Mr. McGilded is telling the truth. If only we had some evidence to counter their suspicions.
Mr. First.
Oh, yeah, yes, sir?
Is this the knife you saw?
Oh, good grief, yeah, that's it, the very one, sir. Is that...
Yes, counsel. This is the blade that was driven into the victim's belly like a stake through the heart. That is a blade of considerable size, counsel. It is. And furthermore, the scabbard is emblazoned prominently with a certain initial. The letter M, which seems oddly familiar.
Please, no.
M, or Magnus perhaps, or McGilded possibly. Take your pick. It seems this particular big name in London made a magnificent mistake.
Objection!
But there are M's everywhere. Like, yes. Like in Mason.
Objection!
This blade is far too extravagant for a poor brickmaker to have owned. No, this weapon of murder almost certainly belongs to the accused. Not conclusive, but certainly compelling, counsel.
A largest knife that was found lodged in the victim's abdomen. Its quality and fancy ornamentation suggest it must be quite valuable. My lord, if you'll forgive the interruption.
Juror number 2. Go on.
Mr. McGilded is a pillar of society and a gentleman, and a gentleman's word should be sacrosanct. However, Those of us in service know we must accept hard truths. Wait, what are you about to do? Dispose of the rubbish. Damn it. No. I don't wish to call this offense, but I do like to eradicate all traces of filth and grime. I have painstakingly typed every word uttered here today and cross-referenced all the facts. As such, I am now in a position to draw the only logical conclusion. Oh, damn. Not again. That's 4 out of 6 jury members who've proposed a guilty verdict. There are only 2 left. We've had it. Every time I press these witnesses for more information, I just make the situation worse. Nevertheless, what we need more than anything at the moment is more information. We're still very much in the dark. I suppose I'll just have to keep pressing the witnesses, knowing that more sparks may well fly. We mustn't give up hope that we'll uncover something that will give us a way to fight back. But... all right, I'll keep trying. I can't give up. I just need to keep calm and listen to the witnesses' statements again. All right, let's see. Wait, what did I... All right, so when it happened, the only 2 people in the enclosed cabin were the victim and the defendant. I was just trying to advance through the testimony so I could figure out where I'm supposed to do whatever. Normally, I would be presenting evidence at this point, but I don't have anything that helps. Yet. So help me, 3 whole people witnessed the man I'm trying to defend do the deed. I don't like to be pessimistic, but we do seem to be in a rather difficult situation here. What am I supposed to think here? Is Mr. McGilded really innocent? Or could it be... Before we jump to conclusions, our first task should be to gather information. We need to understand the case much better than we do at the moment. Yes, you're absolutely right. Let's listen to those witnesses' statements again, a little more carefully this time. Here's the last bus of the evening, so I have few customers. I'll remember it well. Can I advance? Yeah, I can. Okay. All right. Just reached over, punched his knife right into his guts. Right, he stabbed him. I screamed. I couldn't help it. And I saw it too. Do I just press everything again? I guess so. All right.
Hold it!
Yes, I think it was sometime after 10, wasn't it? I did. Yes, that's right, sir. And you ever so cold it was, sir. For freezing, in fact. And you had 4 passengers on board at the time, is that correct? Yes, that's right. This is the same. No difference. Did anything change? Wait, have I pressed this?
Hold it!
I don't think I have. What exactly did you see?
Well, sir, that would be the passenger, sir. Yes, collapsed on the floor he was, sir.
And by the passenger, you are referring to the victim, Mr. Mason, the brickmaker.
And the other passenger had a knife in his hand like this.
By the other passenger, obviously you are referring to the accused, Mr. Magnus McGilded.
And then he punched it down like this, stabbing the other passenger in the belly.
What? Wait, that's different. That's different.
My lord, I wish to speak. Restaurant number 5, I take it that you two, as the master of the London Guild of Coachmen, the idea of a murder being committed in one of the city carriages is utterly abhorrent to me. Wouldn't be right to make a decision before hearing all the facts, though, I say to myself. I've heard enough now. Horse is bolted, as they say.
No, please, just keep it open, my little...
Get up now, still, please. Fish is in sight.
Damn it.
Beppo is a long-standing member of the guild, and I trust what the man says.
Thank you, sir. You're too kind, sir.
This is too unkind, sir.
Which now means that 5 jurors agree to condemn this man. Madam Juror number 6.
Yes, dear. What can I do for you?
You have heard the testimonies of the witnesses in the stand.
Oh, yes, I certainly have. Still got my hearing, you know.
Then pray tell, why are you yet to pronounce your leaning?
Well, dear, the thing is, I'm a creature of habit, me. I always go to a party around this time of day and sit on a nice bench and get on with my knitting. Here's a lovely little park, just near where I live. McGilded Park is called. A gentleman donated it to the city, you know, to put a smile on the Londoners' faces, he said. I can't imagine such a fine young gentleman would have it in him to take another man's life.
He is always doing wonderful things for the city.
That's right. A man like that wouldn't stab someone, surely. But maybe we got to make it a little public library after and borrow some more books.
How many Londoners leave with their heads in the clouds? Do you people not know? What kind of a man Magnus McGilded really is?
Kind of a man is he?
The philanthropist, Magnus McGilded, has enough wealth to purchase the entire city he claims to value so highly. But where did all that wealth come from? Your client is a Shylock, sir, and one with the very darkest of souls.
But...
Stone the crows!
McGilded lends money at extortionate rates of interest, so his victims have no hope of repaying him. When they default, he takes possession of everything they own. He is a vulture that preys on the weak.
I've never heard any mention of that before.
Your faculties haven't deserted you, I'm sure, madam. So has this thought not crossed your mind? Would a man wealthy enough to buy London in its entirety not have a carriage of his own?
Uh-oh.
What possible reason could this man have had to make use of a public omnibus service?
You're not saying that...
The victim, a poor brickmaker, had next to nothing to his name, save considerable financial liability. It will come as no surprise that his creditor was the accused, Magnus McGilded. But let it also be known that the very day Mr. Mason was killed was the final repayment date for his debts. Good gracious! The brickmaker was destitute. He had lost his house. He had not a shilling with which to repay his debts. And in the end, this pitiful soul had the very last thing he owned taken from him, his life. By the merciless philanthropist pretender, Magnus McGilded.
I don't believe it.
Hold it!
If I might add something briefly,
Mr. Zato?
you claim that the victim had been lent money by the Mr. McGilded. But where is the evidence to support your claim? Oh, hello.
Pray forgive the discourtesy of feeling my hallowed chalice in a court of law. Oh, there it is! Lord Van Ziek's hallowed chalice!
What? How can this be considered acceptable?
I want a glass of wine.
But I find myself in unexpectedly good humor. I had heard ladies from the Far East could show great courage, but I didn't expect to experience it myself.
As judicial assistant to the defense, I am simply doing my job.
What a pity that your display of courage is in vain. This is the debtor's ledger, which details all monies loaned by the accused. You will find the victim's name clearly recorded inside.
Oh.
Allow me to present this ledger as evidence. And pray forgive the discourtesy of raising my chalice in a toast to the enigmatic East at the same time. A marvelous toast, Counsel. I will gladly accept this new evidence.
The catalog of people, blah, 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 includes the victim who owed 20 guineas.
Oh, yes, 20 guineas. The victim, the victim owed a considerable sum. And the accused made quite certain he had ample recompense.
Well, it would seem I've had the wool pulled over my eyes.
Regrettably, madam, that is the modus operandi of the accused.
On this such a pretty little park, too. What a scoundrel. Still, maybe it's all for the best. Wait a minute. Let's think about this a little more before... I don't stand for nonsense.
Oh.
That was it. The last juror's decision. According to this encyclopedia of British law, When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. That's what it says here. Final verdict. It's over then. Oh! There's a footnote, though. Footnote. However, the defense...
All 6 members of the jury are now in agreement in this case. Allow me to convey my respect for your swift and righteous decision. According to the laws of this country, I will now conclude the trial by delivering my final verdict. I trust there are no objections.
Otto, hurry up and finish reading that footnote!
Mrs. Otto, just tell me one thing. Oh, yes? You were in the middle of saying something before? The footnote in your Encyclopedia of British Law? However, the defense... ... What did it say next? Oh, yes, of course. One moment.
Oh my God, you put the book away!
When all members of the jury have concluded that the defendant is guilty, court proceedings are suspended and the presiding judge will deliver the final verdict and sentence. Then the footnote says, however, the defense has the right to demand a summation and examination of the jurors at this point. Could you say that in a language I understand, please?
Objection!
A summation examination. From which century has that tome you have there been resurrected? Judging from the binding, I would say that book is at least 50 years old. Any modern text on British law wouldn't even give such an antiquated procedure I mentioned. It's a relic, long forgotten, and certainly no longer practiced. So you're out of luck.
Oh.
Adjusting the armband.
What even is it, Mrs. Otto? This so-called summation examination? Oh, one moment, and I'll read about it.
May I interest you in a bookmark? You would demand the right to a procedure before you even understand what it entails? Typical Nipponese.
Excuse me? All right, Mr. Naruhodo, I think I understand. It seems that under this procedure, we would be able to appeal to the members of the jury. To do what exactly? Appeal to them to change their leaning and reverse their decisions. And it says here that, if successful, the proceedings of the trial must be resumed. Make them reverse their decisions.
Yes, in times gone by, barristers would use a summation examination to attempt to influence the jury's decision. But that procedure became something of a formality with no practical benefit, really, so it rather fell out of use.
I wonder why.
Because it was devoid of purpose. Changing just one member of the jury's mind would be hard enough, let alone several. No self-respecting defense barrister would even assert his right to try in this day and age.
Still, I don't see any mention of the procedure actually being formally revoked.
What are you suggesting?
I'm suggesting that although it may be antiquated and largely forgotten, it isn't yet extinct. What do you think, Mr. Naruhodo?
May as well give it a shot, though. It's the only chance we got.
Summation examination. Our last possible option. Of course, we're going to assert our right.
Beat
defense wishes to assert its right to a summation examination, my lord.
Objection!
Oh, shut up.
London is the capital city of the most powerful nation on earth. We have a duty to the world to exemplify the very highest standards of judicial procedure. Summation examinations are an embarrassment that should remain buried,
Objection!
says the walking corpse. But if it's our right, it's our right. I believe it could prove vital in this trial.
the defense's petition is perfectly valid. The court will proceed with the summation examination. This is madness. Foreman, are you and the remainder of the jury ready? Not. There's no mention of this in the letter I received, you see, so. All members of the jury will be asked to explain on what grounds they have reached their decision. What grounds? You must all justify your decisions and explain why you believed the defendant to be guilty. Well, my lord, you're rather putting us on the spot.
This is most irregular. No mention was made of this before.
Oh, really? Oh, well, it's just fine, like. That seems to have thrown the jurors off.
It seems none of them have experienced this before.
All right, then, the summation examination. A defense procedure no practicing lawyer has attempted for years, is it? Well, just maybe. It might be the opportunity we've been looking for to turn this trial around.
So be it then, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court hereby calls upon you to state the grounds on which you find the defendant, Magnus McGilted, guilty of this most serious crime.
All right. Judicial findings. The jurors' contentions.
There was no one else inside the carriage at the time, so it has to have been him.
I trust the driver. He has an excellent memory, it seems. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence.
I stuck the chap right next to him just like this. Brazen, I must say. Absolutely brazen.
I have simply typed and collated all the statements made thus far and drawn the logical conclusion.
You can trust the guild. Fair fares is our motto. We haven't raised prices in above 4 pence in 4 years.
A scoundrel! Stabbing that poor man on the floor! It beggars belief!
All right. Well, first of all, we've got one person saying he was stabbed on the floor, one person saying he was stabbed in the seat. I'm starting to wish I had him pushed for this now. Some of the jurors don't seem to have wonderfully formed arguments, though, do they? Well, let's see what we can do. We need to get these 6 people to change their minds. I'll have to throw everything I can at them and use some very persuasive language.
Just a moment, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay.
According to my book, that's not quite how it works.
Oh? I was going to have to thaw their icy minds with some heartwarming rhetoric about the defendant.
Unfortunately, once the jurors have decided the defendant is guilty, they're unlikely to heed anything the defense says. But then, they've reached their conclusions by their own reasoning, you see. Your pleas will sound like excuses. In fact, it could recoil on you. The more you try to persuade them, the more entrenched they become.
Then what on earth am I supposed to do?
Oh dear. I'm just citing what I've read about British law, Mr. Naruhodo.
Right. I'm sorry. Do you have any idea on how to make this work then?
Well, from what I can understand, the key to this procedure is using the jurors' own words to make your arguments.
What do you mean?
Well, the 6 members of the jury are randomly selected members of the public. They may appear to present a united front, but the truth is, they are complete strangers who just happen to find themselves here in this courtroom together.
And that's the way to break them down, you mean?
Yes, exactly. We must listen very carefully to what each member of the jury says and see if we can identify any contradictory statements. Okay, and how do I pursue that? If we can, we then contrast the statements and pit the corresponding jurors against each other. I see, so it's contradictions in what two or more jurors say that we're looking for. In a way, then, this is similar to regular cross-examination. Oh, yes, I suppose you're right. Okay. Find contradictions in their statements and pit the jurors against one another to break them down. All right, I might be able to pull this off. No, that's not right. I have to pull this off.
Can we start proceedings, counsel? I would ask you to take the stand for this. I'm expecting a clear and concise rebuttal.
Yes, my lord. I'm taking the stand. What? The defense's rebuttal. Okay. No. Okay. Hang on. Wait a minute. 4 passengers with fares totaling 20 pence. Hang on. Okay, that would be 5 pence, not 4 pence. But first, why? Oh wait, hang on. Right, okay, yes.
Objection!
Those two statements clearly contradict each other.
Hold it!
As a foreman of this jury, I refuse to accept this outlandish interjection.
Huh?
There is no contradiction here, you young stripling. None whatsoever.
Wait, what?
I agree.
But
You will refrain from personal attacks on the jury based solely on your own frustrations, counsel.
But there is a contradiction. One is saying he's... It's important to take your time in considering which statements contradict which others, Mr. Naruhodo. I suggest you listen carefully to all 6 jurors again. Damn it. Scoundrel stabbing that poor man on the floor. Oh, damn it. So we just need to find 2 jurors with contradictory statements and pit them against each other. Which is so much easier said than done. Especially when I just did that. How did you know? Well, I took the liberty of doing some research in case you happen to find yourself in just such a situation. Shall I read you what I found out? It's a little long, I'm afraid. No. I think I got it. I just did something wrong, apparently. Shut up! Get back to the damn testimony or whatever. No. Why are you still doing this? Ah. Oh my God. All I wanted to do was go back to the first juror. Well, the second, actually. Or third. Wait a minute. Oh my God, did I choose juror number 2 instead of juror number 3? All right, juror number 6.
Objection!
Oh my God! Those 2 statements are completely contradictory.
What? Explain, counsel, post haste.
Oh wait, that was right. Oh dearie me! I was only knitting a jumper for my other half. What's all this claptrap? What's contradictory even mean, I ask you?
we've heard from more than one witness that they allegedly saw the actual moment when the defendant stabbed the victim. Now, out of curiosity, juror number 3. What, can't you see I'm busy? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim? What sort of motion was it? Ha! Want to test me, do you? It's like this. Stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. Just like the prim banker said.
Yes, that was Mr. Fairplay's testimony, quite true.
Now then, juror number 6. Oh, is that me, is it? What can I do you for, young man? How would you say the defendant stabbed the victim, madam? Oh, well, dear, as far as I understand it, it's like this. He stabbed a poor man after he collapsed on the floor. Coachman says so. Now, don't move. Take a look at these 2 jurors. He stuck the fellow next to him without even getting up. And he stabbed the poor man after he'd collapsed on the floor.
Well, I never. They're stabbing in totally different directions.
What? Bless my stitches. What a muddle. What this tells us is that there's a strong possibility one of the witnesses isn't telling the truth. Oh. Well, why? Why Dickens would they lie? I don't know that yet, but what I do know is that if the trial ends at this point, we may never find out. We may never know the real truth. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, can you really let that happen in all good conscience? Well, I should say, oh dearie me. Can't abide people telling lies. Okay. There's one. The scales.
Oh, believe it. Wait! Now hear this, my fellow jurors. I warn you, you cannot listen to this man. Look at him. His black suit. He's clearly some devious Eastern sorcerer using magic on us all.
If I could use magic, do you really think I'd be putting myself through all this?
Answer me this, Dark Jinx.
Yeah, me?
What exactly is the problem? What of it 2 witnesses had slightly different recollections of events?
What of it?
Let's say Shylock did stab the victim as he is sat next to him on the omnibus. This young dandy saw him do it. Now let's say the victim collapsed on the floor, and then the Shylock stabbed him again. This old lady saw him do it. Well, what's to say it didn't happen like that, huh?
Who you calling a dandy, sir? Why, I should take this knife to you. Who you calling old? Why, I should take this needle to you. Ah, they're ready to kill each other now. But could the foreman of the jury be right? Did the 2 witnesses see 2 different moments of the same crime? Of course not. There was only 1 stab wound. Unfortunately, Mr. Foreman.
Huh? What is it, you Dark Jinx? Come on, out with it.
What you're suggesting is impossible. It's out of the question.
What are you talking about, man? How can you possibly say that? You do realize I'm only doing my job. As foreman of the jury, I have a responsibility to steer everyone in the right direction. So where's the evidence, man? That's what we want to see. I say the 2 witnesses saw 2 different moments of the same crime. You say that's out of the question, show me some proof.
Okay. It looks like the only way I'm going to convince him is to present him with something he can't dismiss. Some irrefutable hard evidence. As you wish.
What?
I'll give you the proof. It's out of the question that the 2 witnesses saw 2 different moments of the same crime as proven by The autopsy report.
Take that!
This is the evidence. This is the victim's autopsy report. According to what's written here, Mr. Mason was stabbed in the abdomen only once.
Only once.
It's quite simple. The victim was stabbed precisely one time. Which means these witnesses can't possibly have seen it happen 2 different times. All right, I concede defeat. Oh, there's 2. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo, you did it. If we manage to change 2 more jurors' minds, we can force the trial to continue. 2 more, huh? Okay. Well, got the fares wrong. I'm not sure why that matters. There is something else that's bothering me about a couple of their assertions. Then that's where you must strike next. Oh, the driver's fleecing his fares. Okay, so I need to pit 2 more jurors against each other and show there's another contradiction in their assertions. Exactly, you can do it.
Well, the scales of justice have shifted, but they still weigh heavy on the side of guilt. Counsel, you have the floor again. Continue your summation examination.
All right. Okay. Here we go. You against... Was it him? Yeah. All right. Right. Oh, okay. Yeah, I trust the driver. You know, if I had been looking at this the first time, I would have made that mistake. It actually shows the text there.
Objection!
Those 2 statements clearly contradict each other.
I do. Explain yourself, counsel.
Me? Oh dear, what have I said?
I swear on Silver Blaze's main and name, I haven't the first idea what you're talking about.
According to the group testimony we've heard so far, there were 4 passengers on the omnibus on the night in question. And according to the coachman, Mr. Peppo, he took 20 pence in fares. Quite right. I have those precise details typed neatly here in front of me. And juror number 5 also told us the following. The fare for the omnibus is always 4 pence.
It is. A fair and convenient single price. Just the way London's carriages should be operated.
But that doesn't add up at all. Literally. In fact, it leaves a glaring discrepancy in the facts.
Why, man, why?
4 passengers paying 4 pence each. You do the multiplication. Yeah, you got it. It would be 16 pence. Exactly as I said, it doesn't add up. The figures are different. By 4 pence. By 4 pence, in fact. Or precisely 1 person's fare. Oh my God. There was another person there.
1 person's fare?
Yes, in other words, on the omnibus that night, it's distinctly possible there was another passenger we've heard nothing about.
Good gracious.
This can't be right. The coachman of the Guild of Good Honest Men, one and all, trustworthiness is our watchword. The figures your coachman claims most certainly do not add up. Your watchword, sir, is a fallacy.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Guildmaster, I think you ought to consider that if this trial were to end now, the news will surely spread all over London. The news that one of your coachmen tried to hide the fact that he lets nefarious characters ride his omnibus.
Right then, I make this so miserable trial doesn't end, eh?
Well, according to my book here,
You simply launch a ball of fire onto the innocent side of the set of the scales.
Now hold the horses there, coachman. We're all in agreement. Why you have to go in?
Wait till I get my hands on you, Beppo.
Was I supposed to do this one first?
Ah, it's all very irritating.
Begging your pardon, sir. I'm going to do the same.
For the love of Mike, not you as well.
A penny can be the difference between a smile and a tear, after all. I certainly can't put my trust in someone who doesn't follow my exacting standards in financial matters.
Oh, really?
I, for one, think it's only proper that we hear from the witnesses again.
Wait, that means 4 jurors are now leaning to not guilty.
We've done it, Mr. Naruhodo. We've won.
Well, not exactly. We've just not lost yet.
What you playing at, you dandy fool?
Shut your trap, sir. No one deceives me.
Well, we had a consensus.
I said shut your trap. I know a liar when I see one. And if the chap out dares to cross the threshold in my shop, I'll take this regular sharp blade and shave every last hair off his head.
Please tell me he's a barber.
Well, in quite remarkable turn of events, the defense's summation examination has flipped the balance of the scales of justice. The jurors now stand at 2 for guilty and 4 for not guilty. Accordingly, there's no longer a large enough majority among the jury for me to adjudicate, and the trial must continue. Yay! I hereby ask the defense, prosecution, and witness to return to their places. And I call upon all of you to continue to pursue the truth.
Okay. And we will continue to pursue the truth in the next episode. To the outro! Well then, there were 5 passengers on the carriage, not 4. A passenger no one mentioned. I would not be surprised at all if every single one of the people on that carriage owes money to Mr. McGilded. Although if that were the case, I imagine it would be in the ledger Van Zeek's submitted as evidence. And if that's the case, then he would know that. I mean, he might have decided to just not mention that inconvenient fact, but we'll see. And it just occurred to me as I was writing that line, that makes no damn sense unless it was McGilded that died. Oh crap. Moving on. But yeah, this juror thing. Aside from it catching me a bit off guard, I think I like it. Like, a lot. No magic or sci-fi silliness, just picking apart people's statements. It's probably not actually more complicated than previous games, aside from the first one, but I suspect, because it's new, it feels that way. Anywho, up here's a playlist of my Persona 5 Royal playthrough, and down here's a video that YouTube recommends. And of course, a very special thank you to all of my supporters on YouTube and Patreon. Your support really does matter a lot. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!